This is Gene from NYC with the second video of the day and the probably third video I've done, maybe third or fourth, on the Vic Mignogna situation. I'm going to keep this very brief. I just wanted to this is more of a vent than anything else, right? I've been hearing, and I actually saw a little bit of proof online that Monica Rial is basically harassing other people now. The news that I've been hearing, and there's so many videos and channels covering this: Yellow Flash, Lost Pause, Hero Hey, Perfection, myself, Dan Fan 29, and many others. Basically, almost anybody, even like For Neverworld, I think is the name. I don't watch that content too much anymore, but so many channels are covering this. So it's hard, especially when you're tired. Off the top of your head to recall where you saw what, but I saw a video, or at least part of a video, and I saw the actual tweet where Monica Rial sent a tweet to someone who was just saying that they were disgusted with her behavior. You know, this person didn't at her, didn't use her screen name, didn't involve her in any way, right? But she just sent out this tweet. She somehow found it. I guess she went hunting, or people who support her went hunting, and found this tweet, which was just someone expressing their opinion about the situation and saying, as many people have, as myself and others have, that Monica's behavior has been absolutely disgusting in this. And she sends this person a tweet saying something to the effect of, you know, thanks for the tweet, as if the person tweeted her. The person didn't tweet her, but the tweet says, thanks for the tweet. It's been screenshotted and sent to her lawyer and to the police, or something to that effect. I don't think I'm recalling the tweet perfectly off the top of my head, but that's the general I would say voice of it, or feel, right? The general summary of it is that it's basically a tweet saying, "Oh, you know, I've taken a screenshot and I've informed the authorities." Monica, I actually want to clear one thing. I've called Monica and Jamie snakes in other videos. I need to amend that. They are not snakes, mainly because snakes don't deserve to be lambasted like that, right? They get enough bad association being associated with Satan. They don't need to be associated with Jamie and with Monica. So I sincerely apologize to snakes for comparing you to Monica Rial and Jamie Marchi and calling them snakes. And that is not fair to snakes. What I will call them, what I will from now on refer to Monica and Jamie as, are monsters. Disgusting, evil monsters, because that's what they are. That's what their actions deem them to be. They may have pretty attractive faces and lots of makeup, but their hearts are dark, and they are monsters, and they are full of vitriol toward one man for whatever their reasons. And they have used the mob mentality and reactionary nature of Twitter to bring him down. And then you have fools like Chris Sabat backing his work wife because reasons. So I just wanted to amend my statement about snakes. I apologize to all the snakes out there. I did not mean to offend you. But Monica and Chris and Jamie, I hope you're offended. More importantly, I hope you get fired sooner or later and blackballed from the industry. All three of you need to get the hell out. Monsters and people who support monsters don't need to be in any industry, let alone one as beloved to geeks as anime dubbing. And I honestly hope, as much as I don't want to see people, especially innocent souls, out of work, I sincerely hope Funny as a company crashes and burns. I hope it goes out of business, because it's exactly what the company, I'm not going to say individual people, with the exception of Chris and Monica and Jamie, deserve. Because they don't. You know, who is it? John Bergmayer doesn't deserve to be out of work. Linda Young doesn't deserve to be out of work. You know, who else? Who else is over there? Basically, most of the cast of Yu Yu Hakusho, right? doesn't deserve to be out of work, right? In other shows. Travis Willingham and Laura Bailey certainly don't deserve to be out of work. Colleen Clickenbeard doesn't deserve to be out of work just because of Funimation. And I really hope, especially for the guys, that they're, putting all their ducks in a row and looking to make their exits, because believe me, every man is a potential target now. If Vic can be brought down and lose his job over hugs, then every man in American dubbing, whether they're working for Funimation or not, has a target on his back. So Steve Bloom, Crispin Freeman, Johnny Bosch, Yuri Lowenthal, all of y'all, watch your backs around your what's I'm looking for, around your coworkers, right? Be careful, especially around your friends, because those same friends that you've worked with for 20 years could very well do what Monica and Jamie and others have done to Vic. They could also stand by your side. I'm not saying necessarily that you have to distrust every single solitary person, but just watch your backs. Watch your backs, because it's hunting season. It's hunting season. Vic is the first victim, but there will be others. There will be others. And what's sad about this is that I have no doubt that there are real actual cases of sexual misconduct, in the voice acting community, in any community, because no community is perfect. No community is without its badniks. I've even heard, although I haven't heard much about it, that, Todd Hacker or Habercorn, I forget how you say his name. I think it's Todd Habercorn or Hackerborn, something to that effect, has now been accused. And then there was a guy named Neil something. He had accused Vic, saying that Vic had somehow harassed him by jumping on his shoulders or something. He said that Vic had leapt onto his shoulders, and he was accusing Vic, and now he's been accused by another person. So believe me, it's hunting season, right? So especially for the ones who are very well known voice actors who have long careers, like Crispin Freeman, like Steve Bloom, watch your backs. I'm only going to say this once. Watch your back. Anyhow, so I think I've ranted so long I forgot what my original point was. But yes. So I don't want to see, good innocent people out of work, but Funny needs to burn. Funny as a company needs to fail. Right? They need to be shown that you cannot do this. That you cannot ruin a man's life, support the ones who ruin his life, and then still have a business afterward. So there's that. Then there's Monica's, and I've been asked on some other videos where I've left comments about why I'm coming down so hard on Monica. Let me explain for those who may be wondering why I'm coming down so hard on Monica. And I think many of you know, especially if you've seen the other videos or seen me on other channels commenting, but just for the record, Monica is the one who came out on Twitter. Right? Her and Jamie Marchi. From what I'm hearing, Jamie is the one with the story about Vic pulling her hair and whispering in her ear. But Monica comes out saying that Vic did something to her too. She basically Me Too's Vic, but she won't say what happened. She's willing to make an accusation online, right, on Twitter, but she's not willing to A, further elaborate on the situation, and then B, she's not willing to take it to the cops or to Funny. She hasn't stated that she took her complaint to anybody in Funimation. So I have no reason to believe that she informed the HR department at Funimation of what Vic supposedly did. She basically, this is the way I view it. She joined the Kick Vickers. People got on her about it. She suddenly comes up with what I believe is I would say almost assuredly a false claim of me too, it happened to me too, Vic did it to me too, that she can't elaborate on because it didn't flippin' happen. Because it didn't happen. I don't believe that it happened. Whatever it is that she won't talk about. Right? And when she's told by others, right, to elaborate, or if it really did happen, why didn't you report it to anybody? She tries to hide behind, well, I don't have to answer those questions. I don't have to share my story. You're willing to accuse a man. You're willing to me too a man, right? And when people hear me too, they immediately think, okay, sexual assault, something, really bad happened. Something on the level of like Kevin Spacey or Weinstein or Matt Lauer, right? So you're basically using the power of association, in my estimation, to smear Vic, to me too him, because people are going to be reactionary. And then when those saying, hey, basically calling you out and challenging you and saying, hey, why didn't you do anything, or what happened, you decide to play the, my family and I request your patience and basically don't ask me about it card. And then when people continue to ask you, because when you do something stupid like that, you know what happens? People just become more curious and they become more doubtful and they question more. Then you start saying that you've lawyered up and you've informed the authorities and that you won't be harassed. Okay, honey, first of all, you going around, and from what I can tell, because there were two pictures. There was the one from the guy who hadn't even added her or contacted her online in any way. Her sending him this form tweet about, I've screenshotted the tweet and I'm taking it to the authorities. Then I saw another pic that, if it's true, because I'm not going to say automatically that it couldn't have been doctored, but if it's true, that she sent out the same basically form tweet, like it's a form letter, a form tweet, to a good 4 or 5 other people, saying that it had been screenshotted. Their tweet had been screenshotted and sent to the authorities. She won't be harassed. First of all, you fool. You fool. That's harassment. You're harassing them. They weren't talking to you. They were not talking to you. You doing this to them is a better case for harassment than them simply talking about what you did and them expressing their dismay and their disgust. They have every right to state on Twitter how they feel. You, however, don't have the right to hunt them down and then try to scare them into silence. And that's what makes me so damned angry. It's not that she actually has the ability to actually act on them, because believe me, I don't think Monica has an attorney. I think she should get one, because I think that if Vic is smart, and I think he's a smart man, that she's going to get sued, so she should get an attorney. But I don't think at the moment she has one, right? She's basically talking tough, right? It's when you know that bully, it's basically bullying, right? Right? It's like when you're in school, the bully hits you, and then they say, if you tell anybody what I did, if you tell anybody what happened, I'll blame you. And because the bully, right, happens to be a well-liked, well-respected person, right? It's like, well, who's gonna believe me? Right? This kid, is the A student of the class. Who's going to believe little old me? It's that type of bullying that she's engaging in. At least in my estimation, it's very similar. She's doing the whole, I'll appeal to authority and get you in trouble for harassing me, despite the fact that she's the one engaging in harassment. So Monica, it can be proven by her own tweets and her own statements that Monica has not provided a credible allegation against Vic, that she Me Too'd him without presenting any credible proof, and that she's engaging in what I believe to be bullying and harassment, hunting down other people who are simply just expressing their opinions and trying to basically say, well, I'll report what you're saying to the police to shut them up. It's bully tactics. It's silencing tactics. And you wonder why I criticize Monica Rial? That's why. She's lying. She's hiding behind a shield of, I'll contact the police. Honey, try it. Try it. Try to contact the police over a tweet where someone said they're disgusted with your behavior. The police are not going to take... They aren't going to take you seriously. They are not... What is there? It's not illegal to criticize somebody. All you would be doing is, if you actually contacted the cops, you fool, is wasting their time, which is not a good thing because A, cops don't like to have their time wasted, and B, for all the time that they would have to spend looking into an allegation from you of someone harassing you, someone who's experiencing real harassment, someone who's experiencing, real assault of any kind, whether it be a physical assault, a sexual assault, or anything, someone who's really a victim of a crime, would not be getting assistance that they need because you would be sending the cops on a wild goose chase for something that doesn't exist. Unless somebody is sending you tweets similar to the ones that Jamie Marchi has made about Vic, about wanting his head, wanting his testicles, wanting to castrate him, wanting to see him suffer, unless it's tweets like that are using very aggressive, angry, violent language, you have no case. You have no flippin' leg to stand on, you idiot. And that, folks, is why I cannot stand Monica Rial at this point. I think she's a monster. I think she's a monster. I don't believe a word that she says. And this is exactly why. These actions that she has taken, that I can easily look up, and I have looked up on her Twitter to see. That is why I think she is a monster. Just an awful, awful monster. And I hope that, legally speaking, she gets everything that comes to her. Because she deserves to lose everything Vic has lost. She deserves to lose tenfold for what she has done. So there's that. So you're wondering why I don't like Monica? That's why I don't like Monica. And to give a little preview, because the video, and I'm going to make it, it's going to take me a few days, because I want to make sure that, unlike this, that I'm not just ranting and going off the top of my head. I want to make sure that I've considered every angle, all my P's and Q's, and unlike Funimation, I want to make sure that I do a good, thorough investigation of their claim of an investigation. So I'm going to do what I believe Funny didn't do, which is an actual investigation into what they said. And I'm going to point out why in another video. I strongly doubt that they conducted an investigation, or if they did, that they conducted a proper one. But that's going to take me a few days. That's going to take me getting back to work so that I have a working computer to actually do research on, and again make sure that I've covered all grounds that I can see. Right? So that video is going to take me a few days, but it's coming. But I want to give you guys a little taster, a little teaser, right? I'm going to point out 3 things, right, that, and I'm not going to go super deep into them because, again, it's a teaser, and I'm going to go into more detail when I make the video proper. But I'm going to point out 3 things about Funny's statement that caused me to seriously doubt whether or not they, sorry for moving this, that make me seriously doubt whether or not they actually did an investigation or if they did a proper one. 1. Funny's statement says that they did an investigation and they have terminated Vic. That's basically it, right? The statement gives no indication of time. They don't say after several months of investigation. They don't say after several weeks. They don't say after an extended period of time, an exhaustive investigation. We have decided to terminate or no longer associate with Vic Mignogna. There's no indication of how much time passed. They could have done this investigation in 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. And that is a red flag for me. Because where I work, in my experience, in my near 10 years of experience of working in college offices, especially the one where one of the major roles is to investigate allegations of sexual misconduct, it takes, at best, if a case is relatively minor and relatively easy, and I put that in quotation marks, it takes weeks to resolve that. And if it's a bigger case, it takes months. On average, a case can take 2 to 3 months to resolve. So how in the world could they have done a thorough investigation? Because they don't indicate how much time it took. They give no indication of how much time passed. And given that they're just now stating this, to me it looks like that they just did an investigation. You cannot do a proper investigation in 2 days or in 1 week. So I think that if they did one, they did it way too fast. And a quick investigation is a poor investigation. The whole point of an investigation is to take time to make sure that everything has been considered and that you have missed nothing. So there's the first thing that alerted me. Number 2 is the fact that Funny made a statement about it at all. One of the major things about an investigation is that it has to be made confidential. You are not supposed to talk about it. It is only on a need-to-know basis. You are not supposed to go on Twitter and make a statement saying that anybody has been investigated. I can tell you that in my work, we don't go on Twitter. Okay? We don't go to the official Twitter handle for the school where I work and say, hey, this person's been alleged of XXXX misconduct and is currently being looked into. You have to maintain confidentiality. Everybody involved in an investigation, from the people working in the office, right? From the investigator themselves to the assistant. I know because I work for the investigator and I'm the assistant. To the accuser, to the accused, to witnesses, to other people who may have information. Everybody is told that they must maintain strict confidentiality. They cannot talk about it in any form. It is on a need-to-know basis. Funny just by saying that an investigation was done makes me question whether or not they actually did it, because you're not supposed to mention it. It's investigation 101. You don't talk about it, right? It's like, what is it? Fight Club, right? Right. What's the first rule of Fight Club? You don't talk about Fight Club. What's the first rule of an investigation? You don't talk about it. And you certainly don't go on Twitter and say that we investigated so-and-so. Idiocy. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is, and here's why I don't think that they spoke to Vic. Because Vic has an attorney. The whole point of an internal administrative investigation is to avoid legal action, is to avoid going to court. Right? I can tell you in my experience that when someone even asks about, well, should I get an attorney? The first thing that they're told is, if you get an attorney, this investigation cannot continue. It will be stopped, right? Because the belief is that it's going to be escalated to a legal matter. The point of an investigation is, of an internal investigation, I should say, is to settle things internally. Now, can a case be escalated to the courts? Yes. But it's after the investigation. Not before, not prior. I can tell you again, at least in my experience, again, working in compliance for a university for nearly 10 years now, anytime someone has mentioned lawyer, they have been told, you cannot bring a lawyer into this. If you do, the investigation will stop, and then it becomes a legal matter, and it's out of the office's hands. If you want to settle it as an administrative matter, you can't bring an attorney into it. Now, you can have a moral support. You can bring them to meetings and interviews about the case, about the allegations. You can bring in union reps if you want to, but you can't bring an attorney, because that's seen as a sign as escalation. So how were they able to talk to Vic? And this is why I think they didn't talk to Vic. How are they able to give Vic's side of the story if he's lawyered up? Right? The investigation, at least with on his part, cannot proceed because he has an attorney. And even if somehow there was even if somehow, they I guess waived that proviso. I don't know why you would, but let's say for the sake of argument that they waived that proviso and actually allowed Vic's attorney to be there with him for an interview. What's Vic's attorney going to tell him? What do all attorneys tell their clients? Don't answer that, don't answer that, don't answer that. Because the whole point of an attorney is to protect their client's interests. And attorneys don't like their clients talking because they don't want their client to incriminate themselves as they try to defend and justify themselves. That's why attorneys don't allow their clients to speak. That's why you're always hearing them say, don't answer that, don't answer that, don't answer that. So given those three things, the fact that there's no mention of how much time or even an indication of time in Funny's tweet about the investigation, or rather about doing an investigation, the fact that they even tweeted about it at all, and the fact that Vic has a lawyer, so how in the world were we able to interview him? This is why, and many other reasons, but those are three of the reasons why I seriously doubt Funny did a proper investigation, if they did an investigation at all. And a improper investigation, Funimation, you idiots, is actually even more damning and does more damage than no investigation. You know why? Because if it was done improperly, that means that there was a standard procedure, at least in my work. There's a standard procedure that tells you exactly how an investigation is supposed to go. The investigative parties need to stick to that very closely. If an investigation is done improperly, that means that, or at least it most likely means that, that process was not followed. And it is much more damning to not follow the process than to never do an investigation at all. Funny just should have kept their big mouths shut. And believe me, I'm hoping that Vic's lawyer is a pit bull, just like the lawyer that those Covington kids got. And I hope that if Vic and his attorney sue for wrongful termination, and they get the investigation documents, if any, from Funny during the discovery process, that Vic's attorney makes the same observations and the same arguments I have. Funny, you don't realize it yet because you're fools, but you've just made a big, super flippin' big mistake. This company, by the time everything's said and done, especially if Vic really pushes for a trial, right, or a settlement, if Funny's still standing as a company, I will be amazed. But anyway, that's it. Again, I don't dislike everybody at Funimation. I think probably the majority of people at Funimation are relatively decent people. But you've got some snakes. You've got the company as a whole investigating a man, right, who doesn't even work for them anymore. They had fired him prior to even making this statement about doing an investigation. They have participated in, by not trying to actively stop Monica and Chris and Jamie from ruining Vic's life. Right? And so yeah, the company needs to go. I hope that those who are innocent in the company find other work. I think that they should make their exits now. And I think for the larger anime community, especially for the men, you gotta watch your backs because it's hunting season. Vic is the first victim, but there are others coming. Watch yourselves. If you know, watch. Just be careful from this point forward. Don't hug anybody. Don't kiss anyone. Be as cold and standoffish as you have to be. And it's sad because the whole point of cons and of just fandom in general, right, is about being loving. Generally speaking, I mean, fandom can get crazy, but still, it's about being, loving and open and relaxed, and being able to relate to your audience on a much more relaxed level. But things like this, and people like Monica and Jamie and Chris Sabat and others, make it so that everybody has to be on guard, right? That you can't let your guard down. You can't even, give someone a hug. You can't even give them the most benign of hugs. It's going to come to the point that if you want a picture with your favorite voice actor, you're going to have to stand, with like 6 feet in between you two just to get a picture, just to make sure that no improper contact is made. This is how severe it's become. This is how insane it's become because of the reactionary mob mentality of people online, and the monsters in the industry like Monica and like Jamie coming out and destroying innocent men like Vic. So anyway, that's what I have to say. This is about a half hour. Again, I'll be making a much more detailed video breaking down Funny's tweet about doing an investigation, and I'll point out in that why. I'll point out more reasons than just those three about why I seriously question if they did an investigation at all, or if it was properly done. So I think I have rambled and vented and screamed and repeated myself 100 times for about a half hour. That's about enough. So have a good evening. I'll be back with another video soon. Bye.